Which one of history's good guys was actually a horrible person? Joseph P. Kenney, dad of John, Bobby, and Teddy, has one of his daughters lobotomized. She was likely autistic but was considered an embarrassment to the family. Rosemary Kennedy was never considered autistic. When her mother, Rose Kennedy, was giving birth to Rosemary, the doctor wasn't available, and Rose was told to keep her legs closed until the doctor arrived. Baby Rosemary was in the birth canal for about 2 hours, being deprived of oxygen the whole time, which resulted in severe learning disabilities. What? And I cannot stress this enough. The fuck? Napoleon. I'm French and I don't get why people like him so freaking much here. He re-established slavery and tried to conquer a huge part of Europe, leaving literal bloodbaths behind him. Gosh. Even the painting of his coronation reeks of narcissism. He's putting the crown on his own head, for fuck's sake. Henry Ford was so anti-Semitic that Hitler considered him a hero. Sir John A. Macdonald, first Prime Minister of Canada, did a lot for country in its infancy, but treated indigenous people like garbage. Mahatma Gandhi. He was anti-black. He displayed sexually aberrant behavior. He slept naked with his teenage nieces for some sort of experiment, amid a few other things. Now I am not saying that he was outright bad, but he did things that were weird. Go look it up to see for yourself and make your own conclusions. Thomas Edison, biggest monopolist ever, and took credit for other people's work. He didn't invent the light bulb, but bought the rights and advanced it. He monopolized the film projected and most films at the time, and it took a very long lawsuit to get that fixed. He took many creations from his employees and put his name on it. This wasn't illegal because of the contracts employees signed at the time, but it's not exactly a sign of goodwill. I don't hate the guy, but his character is often completely exaggerated. A shorter list would be, what if history's good guys were truly good guys, and not later found out to be complete assholes? Edit. Thank you for the award, stranger. I don't really know what else to say, so thank you. America's Dad, Bill Cosby. Who was the mom? Sleeping Beauty. There's a statue of Oliver Cromwell in London. Loads of movies about him and how he was a brave revolutionary. Nah. Fuck that. He was an evil sociopath who committed genocide on Irish Catholics and turned the UK into a Puritan dictatorship. Che Guevara. I don't think the people who wear his face on their t-shirt know he was kind of a horrible person. As a communist, it must really hurt that your face has been cheapened, weakened, besmirched, being plastered on posters, coasters, and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch. Bob Marley. And there's a very good story to back this up that also explains how he grew to be #1 reggae singer of Jamaica. He had a posse of friends that would intimidate radio networks of Jamaica into playing his music, as well as destroying the alpha discs of other newer artists. I don't know WTF they're called, but the copy the radio networks were given in order to play on the air. He might have been trying to promote feel-good music and peace and all that, but he was a thug when it came to getting that music out. Astronomer here. This is a hard one to admit because I definitely loved his book and idolized his antics a bit when I was a young physics major. But Richard Feynman. A lot of people read Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman, and share my reaction. And his physics lectures are amazing. But the older I get and the more I meet who knew him, holy shit. The guy was beyond just times were different. Levels of misogyny against women. He committed domestic violence against his wife. Kept lying to undergrads when he was in Cornell that he wasn't a professor they could sleep with him, and rumor has it, had to leave Cornell for Caltech because he slept with other faculty members' wives. And I've definitely heard a ton about him trying to pick up other scientists at physics conferences to know he was considered a creep. To be clear, I think someone can do good science and be an awful person. But that's not what OP was asking. Also, anyone who has been around a physics department knows that casual sexist jokes and the like are still not that uncommon today, and the fact that physics keeps idolizing Feynman probably doesn't help in changing the culture. Feynman was known for sitting in strip clubs and drawing nudes of the dancers in his off time. I've been reading an autobiography of Dyson Freeman, who spent time with Richard Feynman, traveled and road trips, Richard was a womanizer after his wife died. He had a reputation as a doting husband during his marriage and during his wife's illness. After her death though, genius intellect and carouser, Tinkerbell. Everybody thinks she was so cute and such a good friend to Peter. But she was a jealous psychopath and tried to murder Wendy several times. I mean, in the book she only did it once. Because that makes attempted murder better. Alexander Graham Bell. This man did not invent the telephone. Several people were working on similar technology at the same time. Antonio Meucci invented it first. But there was a court case over who got the patent rights. Meucci died before the case was settled. And Graham Bell won the glory he didn't deserve. Bell was also a eugenicist who sought to end sign language in schools and wanted to ban deaf people from marrying each other. He was a staunch realist and the repercussions of his actions are still being felt in society today through such august institutions like the Bell Institute. We learned quite a lot about old Alexander Graham Bell in American Sign Language class. You never, unfortunately, learn how much of a cunt he was in elementary school. Ellen. Apparently she's not nice at all. Plenty of mistreated staff have a story to tell. I always thought she was a little fishy. We'll see about that. Indeed we shall. Charlie Chaplin. He got married to a 15-year-old girl because he got her pregnant when she was 14. He was openly pedophilic. And from what I have read, quite an arsehole. Apparently, he and Marlon Brando worked together later on. And Charlie was such an uptight asshole that Marlon Brando, of all people, had to tell him to chill the hell out. Brando, for what it's worth, is infamous for demanding ridiculous concessions from directors for his performances, refusing to learn his lines, and a number of other things. Winston Churchill. Edit. Holy cow. So many awards. Thank you all. Steve Jobs was a bit of an ass. A bit. You should read Small Fry. Steve Jobs was a tremendous asshole. He should also read the Walter Isaacson biography. He was a massive, tremendous asshole. Literally abandoned his daughter because he didn't want to be a dad. Screaming at people over the shade of yellow on the Google screen on iPhone. Thought he could cure his cancer with diet. He was given a night shift at Atari. Because he smelled so bad because he thought by eating clean, he wouldn't produce any stink. Lightning MC Queen. The scene when he yells at Mater for embarrassing him in front of everyone by leaking oil. Total douche. Mother Teresa. An old co-worker worked with her. She was a former nun who said Mother Teresa was ruthless and cruel to all of the nuns who worked alongside her. Yo, Hitchcock is so fucked up. He was famous for pulling pranks like chaining a dude up over a long night and giving him a bottle of whiskey laced with serious laxatives. So he shat himself. Painfully. In chains. For 12 hours or so. He made the actress from Psycho, Janet Leigh, stand in the shower for almost a week. She only takes baths now. The degree to which he abused to pee heroin during that scene from The Birds is, wow. He literally threw birds at her for 5 days. 8 hours a day. So that they were pissed off and actually attacked her. Even after her doctor told him she couldn't take any more. She still has scars. Not to mention the sexual assaults and the threats to ruin her career if she didn't comply. He sent her daughter, Melanie Griffith, a really lifelike doll of her mother, dead in a coffin. She was 8. Dude was fucked. Behind the Bastards does a great couple episodes about him. Those are just the ones I remember off the top of my head from 2+ hours of it. He did send her daughter what now? No wonder his most famous work was named Psycho for fuck's sake. John Lennon. Violent wife beater. Vicious and hateful little shitbag. He used to scream at his baby boy when he was crying because it distracted him. Wrote Imagine speaking about dreaming of no possessions. From his multi-million-dollar condo overlooking Central fucking Park in NYC didn't speak to George Harrison for months after he published his autobiography because it didn't praise Lennon quite enough for his taste. Absolute piece of shit. Edit. Hot damn. This blew up like the 4th of July at Chernobyl. Thank you for all your comments and opinions. For all those who don't believe me, please do not take my word for it. Read his Wikipedia page. All of it. Check out Julian Lennon's interview about his father and how he was treated. Be safe out there everyone. This is a little more niche. But Bill Wilson, the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, the guy did great things and created a program of recovery that has saved millions of lives since its inception 85 years ago. He was also an arrogant arsehole that cheated on his wife, even in sobriety. Edit. This isn't here to scare away anyone that's trying to get sober. I've been sober thanks to her for 5.5 years. So don't let this keep you away if you are struggling with your drinking. Nothing is black and white, it seems. Zebras would like a word. They aren't either. You ever cut one open? Nothing is black and white, it seems. Martin Luther King Jr. was a preacher and a critical part of our nation's civil rights movement. He also fucked a lot of hoes while being married. Nothing is black and white. People are complicated and flawed. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Reddit After Dark. Have a good night.